Ideas for new business venture occur every day and everywhere. Some go far, others never take off. Ideas are at the heart of development because they allow economies to grow and improve people's lives. Regulations determine whether good ideas can kick off and thrive or falter and just simply wither away. Now, in the past 12 episodes, we have focused on several sectors and aspects of doing business in Botswana. And the question still remains, how flexible is it to do business here? My name is Brando Kiabilwe and welcome to Doing Business in Botswana. Sound business regulations can enable business ideas to take root, leading to job creation, economic growth, and greater investor confidence. On the flip side, cumbersome business regulations make it difficult to operate and start a business, and opportunities are lost.
As a ministry, we are charged with the responsibility of creating wealth for the nation. And for you to be able to do that, we have to provide the right environment, what we normally refer to as a conducive business environment for business to thrive. We have done that through a number of initiatives. First of all, pieces of legislation that we've put in place to ensure that the environment is right for trading, for competition, for competitiveness in general. We have also come up with structures that support that, structures such as our Botswana Development Corporation that is there to provide funding and take equity in processes, institutions such as Botswana Investment Trade Center that is there to handhold investors to reduce government bureaucracy that is not naturally associated with doing business in a number of environments. We have done that by addressing the SMME sector, by having an institution specifically to nurture the SMME and to provide linkages with bigger companies. I can go on, but it's through legislation, through the right structures to ensure that our environment is competitive enough.
According to the latest World Bank report, Botswana has slipped 8 places in the ease of doing business ranks. And to blame are higher taxes as well as decreased access to electricity and credit. This drop in rankings indicates that other countries are implementing policies and reforms to ease the doing of business at a faster rate than Botswana.
There is a general belief that Botswana has got one of the most progressive policies in the world and is very much admired about its the economic growth rates that were achieved over the last 3 decades, its ratings in terms of World Economic Forum reports in terms of global competitiveness. But by and large, I have felt that our ability or capability to implement policies has been short because we don't have the profession, we don't have the numbers. As you know, Botswana is a relatively small country with 2 million people. So we have a lot of ideas, but we are limited in terms of capacity to implement.
The laws that determine how easily a business can be started, the efficiency with which contracts are enforced, administration, paperwork for imports and exports all impact on how entrepreneurs conduct business, and their survival is also determined by these laws. In Botswana, small and medium enterprises now account for the largest share of employment. However, availability of credit is a major concern.
Some of the requirements put by the banks for young entrepreneurs are way too high. And if I'm starting a business, what you're asking me is for somebody who already has been in business. 90% of the time, the young entrepreneurs, they don't even have a track record. So why would I have a track record if I'm starting?
Access to funding as an entrepreneur, when you are starting, half of the time, you realize that people can't really visualize your dream or your opportunity. So half of the time that is tough for them to buy into the idea. So you have to use the little that you have, use the little savings that you have to build the business. In my case, I had to use the university allowance that I was getting paid at that time, which was like about $100 or 800 pula in our currency. So that's one of the main challenges, startup capital. You have a great idea, but startup capital, it's always a big challenge.
Although Botswana has dropped in rankings, the country is still in an enviable position. Its location within the region affords investors with opportunities to access the Southern African Development Community's entire marketplace of over 230 million people. Botswana has vast investment opportunities in several sectors, such as mining, tourism, agriculture, energy, banking, and finance. Opportunities for investment in the mining sector include prospecting, expansion of existing mining projects, new mining projects, beneficiation of minerals, and business opportunities.
Botswana is endowed with mineral wealth, that much I can say, because there is no mineral that is not available in Botswana. We see the significant exploration that has taken place in the past 10 to 15 years that has discovered lots of coal in Botswana. Botswana is now ranked the second largest coal deposits in Africa, following after South Africa. The other mineral that we are seeing of significance in this country is copper. We seem to have found Botswana's copper belt, as we know that Zambia is known for its copper. We have the Zambian copper belt and the DRC copper. So Botswana seems to have found also a copper belt.
Botswana's richness in minerals and metals comes with its own set of challenges. The country faces a narrow economic structure in the form of over-dependence on the mining sector, in particular diamonds. The Botswana government has over the years built a reputation of stability, good governance, and prudent microeconomic management of diamond revenue. But the need for diversification remains crucial.
The whole idea why we said we needed to have economic diversification drive was to really coordinate all the efforts in all sectors, coordinate the private sector, coordinate government to make sure that we are all going in a similar direction so that we can measure the pace at which we are driving this thing, we can measure the impact it's having on the economy. That's the whole concept around economic diversification drive.
Economic diversification has been the key consideration in recent national development plans. The government has grown the agricultural sector by diversifying production and promoting potential for investment in agro-industrial and supply chain development.
Botswana has to become self-sufficient, and we have proved that you can grow stuff here. We just, we need to work on that. We've got to grow what is necessary and really work on that. But I think that it is of paramount importance, not just for the beef industry and the animal industry, but also for our these kind of crops, our horticultural industry.
The willingness of foreign firms to participate in agricultural as well as other sector ventures are being negatively affected by processes and procedures imposed by government.
The country started with bureaucracy, if you know what I mean. In other words, it started with government dominating all the spaces. So government set up procedures and all that, borrowing these procedures from other countries. Now, if you look at the competitiveness report, the hurdles that are topmost in terms of assisting Botswana to really progress, by and large, it is bureaucracy, red tape. We are a country that's built really around a bureaucracy or a government structure. So people's culture and process are very much a red tape led, if you may. And this has been acknowledged nationally. Now, to try and get rid of those inefficient processes, to try and up the game in terms of the national ethos that is progressive in terms of competitiveness, it means you need to come up with some initiatives. Those initiatives are projects. Those need to be executed as fast as possible so Botswana can catch up.
The bureaucratic nature of processes is also affecting local companies. The Botswana government acknowledges the benefits of engaging expatriate skills, but the processes involved in acquiring work and resident permits can be daunting. The regulations are sometimes unclear, and great emphasis is placed on the officials and immigration board in deciding further requirements and decisions.
We have a very conducive business environment in terms of issuance of work and residence permits, issuance of licenses, company registration. We also provide general investment information to investors. We have service level agreements with a number of institutions, one of which being the Water Utilities Corporation, as well as the Register of Companies. This service level agreements facilitate quicker and speedy issuance of permits to deserving and qualifying investors.
The question often asked is, how can Botswana keep its sparkle without diamonds? Botswana is trying to reduce its dependence on diamond mining, and part of the answer to that is developing a strong manufacturing sector because it plays an irreplaceable role in driving economic growth and development.
If you were to come here and to produce, we will favor you more than if you were to come here and just retail. So the focus of government is in manufacturing, because if you manufacture, if you come and come up with companies that will industrialize this nation, then it makes logical sense for us to focus on you more than if you just come and sell commodities from elsewhere, because there is no direct benefit to the economy. I think it would be remiss of us as government if we could just encourage creation of jobs in other destinations other than creation of jobs. Therefore, we give you security to say, you come and produce, you spend your money, we will support you. And we will buy from you, the nation will buy from you, and that is the only way you can grow, and then you can then look at exporting as well.
As Botswana looks ahead, she needs to follow prudent fiscal management policies in order to enhance the confidence of the private sector. The government also needs to strongly support and develop the SME sector, which is the country's biggest employer. From myself, Brando Kebilwe, thank you for watching, and join me again next week.